We thought it might not happen. We thought we might not have madness, but we do. We're up late. Y'all are up late because college football always freaking delivers. Golly. We'll get to Ohio State really, really quickly, which was a shock. We'll get to Bama, Georgia. We'll get to Duke in the ACC. That is the drunkest conference in the world. We'll get to the group of five, which is sitting pretty in a great spot to get a bid or two, which is nuts to say out loud. But Texas Tech kind of started us off the championship weekend with the no drama. Like there was the lack of drama, right, with A&M or with Texas Tech, excuse me. Like, we've got so much lobbying going on, and there's so many things that we don't know. And we're going to hear from so many coaches that are on the bubble or on the periphery and what needs to be done. Texas Tech ain't got to worry about it because they took care of business. They built a $242 million facility, and they finished it. And let me tell you something. Walking through it the other day, you want to get your 10,000 steps in? A couple weeks ago when we did that Jacob Rodriguez interview, you'll get it in no time because you got to just walk from place to place. There's segues to take you because it's so long from one spot to the other. But one thing you noticed when you walked in the facility, right when you walk in, besides the big, cowboy and all that stuff and the painting of the murals, to the right side there was the trophy case. And in the trophy case, there's this brick, and the brick says believe. And I'm like, what's that? And they said, when we win the Big 12 championship trophy, that's where that goes. Trophy case wasn't enormous. Texas Tech, first outright title since 1955. Sixth different Big 12 team to win this in 6 years. Like, you want to talk about parity in a league. It's been unbelievable to watch this league over the years. But what do you see with Texas Tech again? Offense was solid, pretty good, but the defense, they give up a 90-yard touchdown drive to start the game. That's the first point, literally. BYU scores a touchdown. It's the first point given up all year on first drives. And you thought, okay, BYU's got some physicality going. They got it rocking and rolling. Now, next four possessions, 24 yards for BYU. And Texas Tech's defense continues to show you why they are so freaking good, man. Just really, really good, dynamic, force so many turnovers. It's not just the fumbles, it's the interceptions. Ben Roberts at linebacker was looking like prime Deion Sanders back there in the back end, covering people and just making picks and batting the ball down. Texas Tech absolutely handles business. Are we going to have question marks about their offense and what they're going to be? Yes, we are. We're absolutely going to have those. But I don't think that they're alone in that debate on how many teams we can say that about. Like, what's their offense going to do? I put them in the Oklahoma category. I put them in the Georgia category somewhat. Like, there's several teams that you worry about their offense moving into playoff contention time. Dickey looked good. Williams looks good toting it. Morton, by the way, he finally practiced on Wednesday before the game. He's got a hairline fracture in his fibia. Like, he's walking around in a boot, and then he practices occasionally, going out there playing in an offense that's spread it out, rhythm-based, timing. You can see it's not with him and Virgil and Douglas and Carter Jr., like it's not the great together offense. You see a heck of a lot of Stone Harrington, which you see he's really good, but you see too much of him. They kick too many field goals. But I think that Texas Tech proved they're a top four team. They're gonna get a bye. So BYU, to think about where they're at when they lose Jake Retzlaff right before the season, who we'll talk about for Tulane, got them in the playoff. Bear Bachmeier coming in as a true freshman during the springtime from Stanford. Remember, Stanford signed him, and then the coaching change and all that stuff that went on. BYU picked a bad day to have a bad day too. Just offensively struggling. Special teams was really, really bad. But Texas Tech, I feel very confident saying this, and Brent, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Texas Tech has the best defensive line in college football. I don't see how that's debatable. Like, I don't think they have the best defense, but I think the front seven for Texas Tech, you better pack a freaking lunch. Like, they are going to absolutely hammer you. They can rush. They can play the run. They do a lot of their damage. They don't have to blitz because they're so good with those 4 guys, 5 guys up front.
Especially if you add in Rodriguez, and then you talk about Roberts having the day that he had, but when you add in Jacob Rodriguez to that, because just watching him, he's a step ahead.
Up here.
8 plays out of 10. Up there, exactly. And
he was a quarterback at Virginia. Like he played quarterback, and you can tell.
I even liked BYU's plan early. Balls out quick, RPO or screen, RPO or screen, RPO or screen, basically just one or the other while trying to run the ball. And then after it got, a little wonky, and then the whole fake punt business. All right, let's give him that. That didn't feel like the time for that.
That was very ungood.
Why would you not just, all right, you're at that point, let's just hang around. Just hang around as long as you can. And then once it was, second half, turnover, touchdown, 20, I think that made it 21-7 or 24 after they got the 2 point, I think 21-7. That was game over.
It was the defense. It was the 3-play series. It was the interception. Dickey scores it was the pick by Roberts because he had 2 of them, right? He was the guy. Roberts gets the pick. Dickey goes wildcat, runs it in, and then you got the 2-point play, and then it was absolutely a wrap. Once Carter Jr. made a miss and got the 2-point, it was like, okay, I think BYU's mathematically eliminated. And
Dickey, like we've talked a lot about Dickey, and he's the one that's had the huge games. Like he had the 250 plus or 260 that one game, but Jacoby Williams
he's grease lightning
in
he's
this
just
game.
So fast,
big time
man.
Moves in this game.
Yeah, don't fumble before the half. That was a bad fumble. But
defensive line. Yes, to answer your question, I think they do have the best defensive line in college football.
I think they got the best defensive line,
and that's without Gil Howard. So
yeah,
you're missing one guy.
But what you see with the running backs is the thing that makes those running backs really dynamic is they're both good pass receivers. Now, obviously, Williams has got more juice, but they've got to find a way to use Virgil's speed more. And Douglas has to, Douglas had a good second half of the season, but they've got to find something. And maybe it's just as simple as Morton practicing more, getting healthier. But they took some shots down the field. The first touchdown was a horrible offensive PI that was not called. That I couldn't even believe that because that was a 2-handed shove in the back. When we saw the replay 10 times, and they never showed the push-off because they were looking about the touchdown, which was absolutely atrocious that we were reviewing that touchdown because it was clearly a touchdown. But Texas Tech, man, we've talked about them. We talked about them way back in the spring in their recruiting class and who they brought in and the money. They got their return on investment, man. They've got a great coach in Joey McGuire who says the right things, who does the right things. He's one of the nicest, coolest cats you'll ever meet in all of coaching, one of the most genuine guys. And I think he's formed that bond with all the new guys, with a new OC, with a new DC. Yeah. And the Raiders, man, congratulations, bro, in the freaking playoff with a bye week to rest up because everybody's banged up right now. Everybody's a little bit nicked and dinged, and so they'll get a chance to rest, and specifically their quarterback.
Quick question with that as I'm watching that game, though, because their offense, the consistency of their offense, a lot of their offense seems like it's more of a fact of you just getting mentally beat down because their defense is completely destroying you. But they seem a lot like, the Spider-Man meme where you pointing at each other. Them in Oklahoma, I think in the playoff where it's just, hey, we're going to win with it. You're going to have to get above 20 against us. We might not necessarily get above 20. We're going to definitely be in the teens, but that defense
making a comeback.
That was the theme of the day.
Yeah.
The theme of the entire day was defense.
Making a comeback for sure. How about the Indiana Hoosiers, man? How about the number 1 team in the country? Keep doubting them. We doubted them before the season. Would they make the playoffs? Were they a one-hit wonder? Could they replace the quarterback? Could they go in the portal again? Indiana just continues to dominate college football. Listen, I say that. It takes steps, right? Last year came on the scene, Cignetti first year to get him to believe. A lot of guys back, needed to find the quarterback. found the quarterback, man, and Mendoza almost died on the first play of the game. Like if you watched, he literally Caden Curry destroyed him. The first play of the game, he's down. Mendoza's brother's the backup, the little Mendoza. So he comes in the game, and I'm like, oh my gosh, is this is going to be the worst championship game in history? We had 1 versus 2. We had a Heisman Trophy. We had undefeateds on the line, the number 1 seed, and we're going to have backup playing at quarterback. But man, this was an awesome game, and kudos to Indiana. You know, the defense continues to play so good, man. Like, so good. And you always vote for the assistant coaches of the year, and Bryant Haynes better win it, because this defense, they do such a good job of twisting and stunting. Ohio State did an unbelievable job of countering that late in the football game, moving the pocket a ton. But that's the most you've seen where you've had to see you've had to see Julian saying, hold on to the football. Like, he had to hold on to the football, buy more time. They forced him to be very patient. And by forcing him to be patient, that long drive right at the end of the game, and my goodness, man, like special teams and moments. Like, who do you trust in moments? And the Ohio State kicker had an unbelievable chance to make this a game. After the 8-minute drive, they go down the field. They're very patient. By the way, Brent, jump in, because when is Ohio State conservative? 4th and 1, down 3, right at inside the 10-yard line. Like, you've already failed one. Now,
so that's the key.
Ohio State had one that they got reviewed.
I would have kicked the first one.
On 4th and 1?
When you're down 3. Like, just get the game tied, and then, it was like the 11-yard line or whatever.
What does your analytics say, nerd boy?
Oh, every time it says go, like it's always
okay. Well, then don't pick and choose when you want to nerd out on me. You can't just say I want this part of the menu and I don't want this one.
No, that's game
two. It's 4th and 1. Like, let me ask you this question. If I'm going to go for the first one, if I'm playing the odds, yes. If I'm going to go for the first one, then I go for the second one, because the likelihood it's not going to happen again. I'm not going to get stuffed. But besides that, like, the nerves of a snap, the nerves of a kick, like, even when it's 27 yards, man, Ohio State had a chance to tie the game with a little over 2 minutes left and completely just gagged it away. It was a bad move. It was a bad kick. It was really ungood. But then Indiana, like, in perfect Indiana fashion, the way they're going to end it, like most teams, I'm going to run it. I'll run it with my QB. They ran it a couple times. 3rd and 6, bombs away. Bombs away. Charlie B, who continues.
Charlie B from Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah, I didn't want to hear the Nashville, Tennessee anymore. I heard enough of the Nashville, Tennessee. I love Charlie B. But how about Charlie B, man? Contested catches, making plays. Penn State, he was enormous in big-time moments. Cooper goes down in the first quarter. He's out of the game. Like, and Charlie B comes in and makes contested catches. And on a 3rd and 6, way down the field, you get single coverage. You take the shot. He comes down with a big-time moment. Indiana, Iowa game was super close. Mendoza made plays. Penn State, super close. Mendoza made plays. Ohio State game, super close. When is Ohio State going to get in a fourth quarter game? When are they going to have to make a play late in the game? When are they going to prove to us X, prove to us Y, prove to us Z? Indiana just kept doing it all throughout the year, man. Every big-time moment when they needed a play, Mendoza made it. And that might say something about who wins that trophy really, really soon, because
whenever that is.
It's coming up really soon. But, man, what a day for Indiana. What a day for their team, for their defense, just to slow down this Ohio State. Yeah, this Ohio State juggernaut that's been rolling, that looked like the best team in the country by far.
So it's going to be fun to see. Like, there's probably going to be mountains of people who are going to come at us for all the bad predictions that we had this week. But obviously Ohio State and Indiana was one of them. But Mendoza was the difference in the game. And it was one play to me above all that was the difference. It was looking at, there he goes. It was 3rd and 2 when they were down. I think it was 10 minutes to go. They were down 10-6 at that time, third quarter. And instead of just looking for the first down on 3rd and 2, they take a shot. And that they hit the deep ball to that sort of, to me, changed the momentum of the game. They go down, that's the drive. They go and score, take the lead. Out after that, complete change whatsoever. So I guess we lose Davey here. But Cignetti, we talked about Kurt just a moment about Cignetti. Look at what, I mean, in 2 years. In 2 years, he's taken James Madison players. He's taken kids from Texas State. He's taken kids from Western Kentucky. He's taken, Indiana kids that were there in a not sort of winning sort of environment. And they are now going to be the number 1 seed in the college football playoff in year 2 after making the playoffs in year 1. It's the absolute, I mean, it's the greatest turnaround ever, potentially. I don't know if anything that you could point to from a program turnaround that fast. I mean, he's literally gotten how many coaches fired because he's done it that fast, but just massive tip of the cap to Curt Cignetti for what he did and what that team has done. And he can talk all the crap he wants right now until he's got to play teams again.
Talk that ish.
But yeah, he can talk it.
You got me back, by the way?
Fourth down stops. Yes, you're back.
Sweet.
You can Google Curt Cignetti, all that. But you talked about the defensive piece. And Joe Long says in any sport, the turnarounds are – that's an unbelievable turnaround. How many years? 30-something years that they'd beat Ohio State? It's been since they've beaten Ohio State, Indiana. Like, that's unbelievable for what they did. But
first outright championship since 1945.
Gosh.
So to do it that quick.
And we talked in the pregame, what's the difference? But like, you look at all the statistical part of it, their offense really didn't look that different from a year ago. But the one difference is Mendoza's legs and his ability to keep plays alive in this game and make plays with his legs outside of the deep ball that he hit, some of the deep balls.
You tried to tell us coming into this game that they were the same offense, and I was about to slap you upside your grill.
Well, I was just saying statistically it is outside of his legs.
But he even said his legs weren't that big of a difference. But when you watch it, there's a big difference. Like there's now here's what I'll say about Mendoza. Like I don't love, and again, this is nitpicking, guys. Like I don't love his pocket presence. I don't love his step up. Like a lot of times he runs around and kind of chases his tail. Hey, but when you have 3 red zone trips in the first half, or your first 3 trips, and you get 6 points, and you don't throw 1 slot fade to Surratt, you're stupid. You're dumb. It's the hardest ball in all of football to stop. That's the most undeniable thing. I can't believe they didn't throw it. They finally throw it, and then they go up, 13-7. But how about just the second half?
Joe Klatt for calling that.
Yeah, I mean, you should. Every time they get in the red zone, you should call that. You should say slot fade. I mean, that should be the
yep.
But I thought Indiana ran the ball enough. They ran the ball. They kept them honest enough. They ran hard. They blocked well enough. If they're going to get in the drop back game, their right tackle is an issue. Like it's an issue. They're not going to sit back in pass protection and be really, really. I mean, Caden Curry was winning, and that guy's not the most fleet of foot, but he was just running over the right tackle pretty consistently. But no one in the country has handled adversity better than Indiana. Nobody's handled the big moments, the big stages. You go at Oregon and find a way to win. You go at Iowa in a clutch moment, find a way to win. Mendoza's toughness, man. You saw it the first play and the rest of the game. He just gets hit, he gets hit, he gets hit, and he keeps making plays, and he never flinches, and he never loses faith. And you could tell when he's interviewed, man, he's got something about him. Like he's got something to him that's different. And what a day for Indiana fans and college football, man. Like the fact that can happen in college football, we win. Like that is we win that. Like the fact that we're getting Indiana in here, Indiana is going to be the number 1 team in college football in the playoff. Yes, please. I mean, so good.
I was leaning back because it looked like Virginia may have scored to tie the game. I can't tell exactly just yet. We're going to get confirmation.
Yeah, we'll worry about that later.
That's
we'll worry about that later. All right. Hey, I got something for you, though. Over the next few weeks, man, you may be hosting for the holidays or heading to a college football watch party. Yes, please, because it's coming. And you either got to provide a dish for the entire crew or you just got to hook it up and bring something that tastes really good. And if you want to dominate the table, kind of like Georgia did tonight, they dominated Alabama. We'll check that out in a minute. But check out Omaha Steaks. They got prime rib. It's a hit this time of year. They got every type of cut you can imagine with the steaks. The sirloin is always my personal favorite. They got chicken. They got burgers. They got bulk protein boxes, all above. That keeps me and my family running through the week, man. It comes right to your flipping door. Right to your door. Like, yes, please. C-Ball, Get Ball listeners, you're in luck. Use the promo code Pollack. $35 off your order right now. $35, man. Saving you guys money. So you're welcome. Let Omaha Steaks make it very easy. They'll ship it right to you. It's awesome. Promo code Pollack. Again, $35 off, suckers. You're welcome. $35 off. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. From C-Ball, Get Ball to you. Get you some Omaha products. All this stuff is really, really good. All right. Georgia versus Alabama. How about an idiot? Me. I didn't think Georgia's offense. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing that would have been very helpful. I thought Alabama was going to hold Georgia's offense down a whole bunch. Now, if you'd have told me that Georgia was going to block a punt, get an interception near midfield, run a punt back inside the 50 on the other side, and then take over at the 20 on a 4th and 2 stop, I would have said Georgia's offense would have looked a lot better and they would have put up more points. I think the most impressive part about Georgia's offense was, man, the use of 13 personnel, all the tight ends on the field to protect their offensive line, pulling guys, doing all the things. Gunnar Stockton running the football with conviction, really, really hard. They didn't have a lot in the throw game, and I thought Alabama was going to come up, and you could tell early Alabama really wanted to take away the easy stuff, like make him throw the football down the field. They couldn't do it, and that's the sign of a really good team. Georgia, you've got to make Georgia come out of their comfort zone. And you don't want to get in a street fight with Georgia. If you stand in front of Georgia and you want to throw blows, you're going to get your ace knocked out. All right? Chris Tucker, you just got knocked the blank out. Like, you're going to get knocked out. You've got to find a way to make them play different, to make them throw the ball down the field. Alabama couldn't do it, man. And Georgia's defense, wow. Like, the thing we talked about coming into the season, like they're going to be able to hang their hat on, slowly really, really struggled. They had 19 pressures in this game. 19. Like, that is absolutely silly how much pressure they got on Ty Simpson. The final blitz numbers, Brent will have those for you in a day or so, I'm sure. It felt like they blitzed the whole time. Now, listen, late in the game, they got a little bit more conservative, but, I mean, special teams was really, really good. They were good in the red zone. They pounded the rock, a ground and pound, and beat Alabama the way Alabama used to beat people back in the day. But it's crazy to think Brent, that Alabama's scoring drive, it took 2 personal fouls for Georgia's defense,
not one,
and
but 2.
And a tip pass that was to the tight end over
Caught
the middle of the
by
field when it was caught and ran for 20 yards. Like, that's how Alabama scored. Like, that the defensive clinic by Georgia, and listen, this is not 1 week now. This is Texas 10 points, Georgia Tech 9 points. Charlotte, get the heck out of here. I ain't counting Charlotte. But another great offense that, like, this Georgia defense, man, they figured out who they are. They figured out who to play. They figured out how many people to play, because it's a lot of people that they can now rotate in and out. And they had guys that were banged up. But, man, oh, man, this defense looks like a vintage Kirby Smart defense, and they have played lights the heck out the last several weeks, last 4 games.
Couple of things there. The first part, that just defense in general, I think the secondary is what's taken from, if you look early in the season to now, the secondary is what's taken the leap. Ellis Robinson is completely locked down corner now, even though Williams should have had a touchdown on him that I thought he dropped. But you talked about their defense recently. Before Alabama scored that touchdown, do you remember the last touchdown that they gave up?
Was it Texas?
Texas.
Yeah.
The Texas touchdown. So all those games that they had gone without giving up a touchdown. But this was an utter just beat down. It was, I feel like, late in the third quarter when Bama got over 100 total yards. And if it wasn't for those penalties, that was a shutout. And
a couple of dumb penalties.
And the key, though, is I think outside of now, okay, let me go back, have a little fun with this. Conspiracy theorists on the dog vent at UGA Sports thought that maybe you were a
reverse psychology guy.
You were the double agent for Kirby to loudly yell that Bama was going to destroy them, so he could then play that for the team and say, "Hey, see, nobody believes in us." Are there conspiracy theories?
Little Pat Dye-esque.
I mean, okay. Anyway, that thought. But the thing that you actually nailed on the head was we talked about this in terms of how you defend Ty Simpson, and it played out to a T. Ed's rush stayed wide, pressure brought from the middle, make him throw the ball outside, and he was off. He could not make those throws. And once those things happened, and especially on third downs, and a little more man too, they played some more man.
Yep.
But outside of a few Ryan Williams catches where he got some yak with some really amazing moves.
Hey, the first half, I was literally like, Ryan Williams just says, "Hey, I'm just playing the Georgia games. Like, I'm not playing any other games." Like, Ryan Williams, off of that last year's Georgia game, made millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. And then it's kind of been MIA, back and forth. The most amazing part to me is there are literally, let me see, how many SEC teams played today, Brent?
2.
Okay, how many SEC teams are there?
Well, how much?
16, I think.
Yeah.
So 15 teams had more rushing yards today than Alabama did. Because they had -3 rushing. But Alabama tried. Too. Alabama tried to run it. Like, they came out, run. Dude, you want to talk about numbers. They had 10 yarders in the first quarter. They had 13 plays. They have 5 first-half possessions, 4 punts, and an INT. And it got worse. At one point, we're at 8 possessions with 7 punts and an INT. It was absolutely really bad offense. And we've talked about Alabama's offense. It hasn't been two-dimensional all year. They've been looking for a little bit of that. But Alabama, if you're being honest, and this is going to come into play soon, Alabama is not going like this. They're not an ascending football team right now. Like Vanderbilt, for example. Vanderbilt has been ascending, bro. I talked about Pavia's numbers. I called him to the carpet. I thought it was like you could look at his SEC games and go, dude, he's not good enough. He needs to be better. They did this from that point on. Texas did a little bit more of this to end the season. Bama's doing this. Is the loss to Oklahoma again going to keep them out of the playoff? This is going to be fascinating. But if you watch that game, I just think Ty Simpson's, what he was able to do and how good he was early in the season, they can't be so dependent on him anymore. They're not good enough to just beat you one-dimensional. And because of that, and because their defense, and listen, they've got a lot of injuries too. There's a lot of people with a lot of injuries, but they're not playing great football right now. And Georgia brought them out in a street fight, and Alabama wanted no part of it. And listen, Alabama fans, you've had a good run. You've dominated Georgia for a long time. So I know you're not going to be super upset, but you got punked tonight. I mean, you got beat up tonight.
Yes, and if you're an Alabama fan, you're like, I did see it somewhere. It's like, crap, we should have just lost the Iron Bowl and Lane would be our coach right now. That's neither here nor there. But anyway, Kirby facing a team again in season, that was sort of one of the things that I felt like would be an issue. It would be a positive in Georgia's light. Let's think back to 2017 when Auburn beat them down at Auburn. And then Georgia faced them in the SEC championship game. Do you remember the score of that game?
No. 34.
28-7.
It's 27.
The exact score that we just saw.
And you know what? To that point, here's where I was very curious to watch today. I was really curious to watch because Ryan Grubb, who's the offensive coordinator for Alabama, he came from the NFL. You're used to playing teams multiple times a year. Like, that's what you do. Like, obviously, he went there last year. But if I was Alabama, this is what would have if they were smart enough to do this is what I would have done. Now, listen, I'm not saying it would have worked because as bad as they got stomped out. But, like, I'd have come out in no huddle. I'd have played pitchy woo-woo. I would have tossed the ball all over the place. Like, that's my clear advantage. Horton was a non-factor. Bernard was a non-factor until the touchdown. Like, Ryan Williams had a couple of big plays. But, man, it's just Alabama's got to figure something out, but I don't know that they're going to be given the opportunity to figure something out. So it's crazy.
So should we go there? Do you think they are? Do you think they are in? How much of the
I told you
recency bias is going to come into play there versus, hey, we're not going to punish them for being the 1 seed going into the SEC and all the other things on their resume and things that they did during the season? Because your first impression of them this season was getting drubbed by Florida State. Your last impression, getting drubbed.
Well, and you've got some commonality, too, with, like, Miami played FSU and took care of business pretty well, much better, obviously, than you did. They won by a couple touchdowns. You lost by a couple touchdowns. So on that same field. I think Miami can say they've played pretty good down the stretch. Alabama's leaking oil down the stretch. Now, Alabama, here's what you got to consider. Alabama's 4-game stretch against ranked opponents was the most impressive thing that anybody did all year.
And we'll have beaten the number 2 team if Georgia's number 2, unless they keep Ohio State, Indiana 1-2. So at least 3. Georgia's at least 3. They beat them on the road. They beat them at their place.
We should do our 12 right now. You ready to do our top 12?
I mean, let's go.
Let's see it. Let's do our 12 now. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if Wesley's here with us or not and what we got, but, like, Indiana's clearly won. No debate there. So we're waiting. We'll wait. We'll wait to do it. We'll wait to do it all. We'll start to fill it in a little bit, and then we'll get you a graphic with all the details. But what we have so far is Indiana. We know is number 1. I think the fun debate will be who's number 2. So we might have some different stuff there. But
do you think it just Ohio State drops 1 or? Georgia goes up to 2.
I think Ohio State, because they got their loss back. I think Georgia, because they avenged their only loss. I think Georgia will go, and because of their wins, I think Georgia will go to the 2 spot. That's what I think will happen.
I mean, what's interesting about that is if they do jump Georgia to 10 or 2. And they drop Bama to 10 and keep them in but drop them 1 back to 10 because of the loss. Now you set up a possible rematch again if Alabama happens to win in round 1. But I do think Georgia ends up being 2. I agree. In the Ohio State, I think they will be a 3.
Yeah, and I think the matchups obviously with the rankings will matter, but, like, the buys obviously. Listen, this doesn't make me say nobody wants to play Ohio State. Like, Ohio State's freaking good. Like, they're still really good. If you think that they suck, you've fallen off a cliff. I think it's more about Indiana. So,
all right. So Ohio State's 3 then for you.
Ohio State's 3, Texas Tech 4, getting the last bye, and I would not move Texas Tech up higher, even though Texas Tech probably has a little bit of a gripe too when you say they beat all 12 opponents by 20-plus points. Now, nobody's also thinking that their schedule was murderer's row by any stretch either. But I do think that we deserve to put Texas Tech there. I think they deserve to be above Oregon. They lost with their backup quarterback. That's their loss. Yep. Oregon lost at home to Indiana. They're at the 5 spot. It's not a bad loss when that team just went undefeated. Like, that's not bad. You can be okay with that. So you got Oregon at 5, Ole Miss at 6. I think I moved them up to 6. I got Ole Miss at 6 because I think having Charlie Weiss Jr. is huge. Like, I think it's enormous. He's the guy that's been talking to Trinidad Chambliss every game. Like, to have him still in the ear, to have Pete Golding still coaching the defense, I think that's absolutely enormous for Ole Miss. 7, Texas A&M, 8, Oklahoma. Good Lord, that's a lot of SEC, which is another reason why you might see Alabama not in there. So you got 8, Oklahoma. I got 9, Miami. So Miami fighting to get in the playoff. Miami now at the 9 seed.
Currently 12th. Like going into the weekend,
12th.
they were 12th. They did not play.
Did not play. And I think
I actually once and we talked about this in the reaction show. Once they flipped Bama and Notre Dame, like with the assumption that BYU Texas Tech turned out how it eventually did, which was, and now you put Notre Dame and Miami side by side. If you're keeping Bama in, then it comes down to Notre Dame and Miami.
Yeah.
And right now you got the Canes.
I got the Canes at 9. I think the Canes, like I said, commonality with Bama, several really good wins. I think Notre Dame's at 10. I think Notre Dame. I think Alabama finishing the way that they finished. I think if it was competitive, I was wondering with Kalen DeBoer if they were gonna go for it on 4th and 2 in their own territory, or just like try to make this look as close as possible. But they rolled the dice. They went for it. But a 28-7 loss. If you watch the game, listen, we've heard this committee: run game, run game, run game. Well, -3 yards can't help the run game. Like, that's not going to do it for them. So, like, Notre Dame's got a good run game. Notre Dame obviously rattling off a bunch of wins. I think the committee's going to look at what happened. I'm not saying I would do that, because I don't think you should be punished for playing on a championship weekend when people are watching. But I do think I think they're going to do this to Bama. And Bama fans might lose their mind from last year too. Like,
Greg Sankey might lose his mind.
Somebody said your mom is a man in the chat. I don't know if they're talking to me, but -3 yards is ridiculous. But yeah, Notre Dame at 10. Here's where it gets fun, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be your college football. This is how it's going to go. Tulane is going to be the 11 seed in the college football playoffs, because we have to take a champion. We have to take
top five
a champion. Yeah. So they're a champion. Guess what? They're in. But who else is in? A rematch. Ours would be a rematch of Tulane and Ole Miss. Ole Miss beat the brakes off of Tulane at Tulane. Like, it was a smackdown week 3, I think. Like week 3 or 4 with Trinidad. But you've got 2 group of 5 people in the playoff. So this might be the most glorious freaking thing that happens to us, because now there's going to be so many people pissed off. We're going to change this. Like, there's going to be serious changes to the college football playoff next year, which is fantastic. That's great for all of us. You'd still be the way we're doing it right now, guys. You still have an ACC team in, and I think they're going to look at that, Brent. I really do. I think they're going to make sure. I think they're going to make sure that they put
that's
an
going to help
ACC
Miami.
team.
I think.
Yes, I think that helps Miami. I think all of the SEC teams hurts Alabama. I think Notre Dame being Notre Dame, it being close. I think that's what it's going to be right there. I think that's what you got tomorrow, which is absolutely nuts.
You don't go Kennesaw State?
No, I'm not going Kennesaw State.
That was a big comeback win for the Owls, though.
Huge comeback win.
I watched the end of that game. It was fun. But yes, hey, that's what it's going to be. You're going to get JMU and Tulane.
College freaking football, man. Like, it's drunk.
In the playoff.
It's awesome. NIL has made this so much more fun for all of us, man. Like, now listen, when we figure out NIL and everybody knows the rules, it'll be different a little bit. But, man, it's kind of cool to see all of this stuff. The conference championships are going to go away. Again,
right.
I said highest ranked team from each conference makes more sense to me. It's an easy fix. There's a lot of easy fixes. But how the freak did Virginia lose? How did they lose to Duke? You want to know how they lost? Because Duke had nothing to lose, and Duke played like it. They played free. They played aggressive. They faked a punt. They went 3 for 3 on their first fourth downs. They ran the football. They had balance. Like it was impressive for Duke to watch. They
Finally
made
won
plays.
the turnover battle.
Yes, they took care of the football. No, they had the one pick early, but they actually didn't have to pay for it much. But Virginia made a few mistakes, like that first drive, 4th and 7. Duke does a great job on special teams, draws them off sides, gets a 4th and 2. Then Duke goes for it. They stay aggressive, and they go down the field and they score. They did a good job of containing Chandler Morris. You got to keep that little guy in the pocket. He's not big. Build that fence around him, keep him in the pocket, and then you get more deflections too with his lack of size. But Virginia, man, like unbelievable opportunity to close the deal, to get to make it happen, to get the return on investment.
Fitting.
God, it's so fitting. It's so fitting.
Speaking of, we have evidently somebody who has watched us throughout the season. Phone something unit says Duke shot Virginia's toes off.
Hey, yeah, baby.
Because that was your comment.
I forgot my light in the background too, by the way. Just turn the light on.
Wes, let's take a look at the bracket again, because there's some interesting things. Like if that is the bracket, you get A&M and Notre Dame again at College Station.
Yep.
You get, Miami, Oklahoma, like old school blue blood matchup in round 1. And then of course you've got, so I think you can already predict that the 7-10 game or the 8-9 game, they will be the Friday night and Saturday night games. And the 5-12 and the 6-11 games will be the early noon and afternoon games on Saturday, that first weekend.
Yeah, and I think the rematches might have something to do with the seeding too. So it'll be interesting to see how they do that, because it's I think everybody wants to avoid rematches as much as possible. Obviously, Indiana and Ohio State that just played, that rematch is going to be avoided regardless, because Ohio State might be 2. I mean, I don't know which. They're going to be 2 or they're going to be 3. One of the two. But it's awesome regardless. It's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of. I think we'll have I think we'll have more upsets again this year too. We got to give a shout out to Quentin in the chat, because he gave some cheddar. So number 2, Auburn.
Super chat. That's what those things are called, by the way.
That's called?
Just to inform you. Yeah, super chat.
Well, you should do all those, and you should read them too, because I'm not a very good reader. I played defense. That's why the show's see ball, get ball. But Auburn 2017 loss SEC championship game. Idle Bama makes it. They beat UGA and Bama earlier that year. Yeah, that's right. No,
yep.
They beat Georgia. They beat Georgia and Alabama. Then they lost in the SEC championship game to Georgia, and then they sat at home and watched the other two play for a national championship. So,
do you think the Georgia fans are going to thoroughly enjoy coming into the comments to talk about your pick against them earlier in the week? They will probably thoroughly enjoy that. I know that.
I think they will, but here's the thing. I don't know if you do either, but we'll talk about this. It's not like I didn't look at the offense and think this offense is going to be one that's going to hum throughout the playoffs. Like, I think this is an offense that has to win a certain way. And here's the thing. Can anybody take them out of that way? And that's what will be very interesting to see, because if you look at everybody, I don't know that there's a lot of teams that can do that. I don't know if there's any teams that can, because that 13 personnel is tough. Like, it's really, really tough to stop. And I think the way they used Branch and Bell, I love the way they use Branch and Bell, because if you keep them on different sides too, you can throw it to both sides. You can get out there in the screen game. Both can break tackles. Both can make it happen. But no, the defense playing the way it is, the special teams being really, really solid, but the offense, I just don't know that it's not multifaceted. It's not going to win a shootout, I don't think, but I think it can probably keep them away from playing in a shootout.
Well, so let's think about that, because like I said, the theme to me of the day was defense, and that Ohio State, Indiana, Texas Tech, and Georgia, those top 4 teams, and even you could throw Oregon there because they're one of the best teams in terms of limiting explosives and stopping the run. Like, that's some big time defenses that you are looking at right now that are in offense is going to be tough, I think, throughout the whole playoff. So maybe that might not necessarily, it's more about situational football than anything. And if you're Georgia, situationally, I got number one, and I can get the ball to that guy, and he can make a whole lot of people miss. Like the difference maker that Zachariah Branch is, he's always open. He is 7-Eleven.
Waffle House.
All the time. All the time he is open.
But I would say that, Georgia gets in 3rd and long. It's going to be tough. And here's the thing. We can be honest, and we'll get this number too, because some people are going to say certain things. I'm not going to disparage a kid. I'm not even going to mention his name for that sake. But the center that took the place of Bobo, it's not Bobo. It's a very big difference. There's a lot of swings and misses, and you play against somebody that's really good inside that can disrupt and stop the running game. Now, Georgia did a great job of getting outside and they did the read game a little bit. They get the ball in the perimeter. You can manage some of that with your good guard play and good others, but the center's only going to get better. Tolliver's only going to get better. Like it
might not even be him.
Yeah, that's true. It might not be, but
you got that much time now.
You got some time to figure it out. Let's get one more. What's it called? Super chat?
Yes, super chat.
Yeah, it is. How Miami could jump BYU without Notre Dame jumping Bama by the same logic. Obviously, BYU losing badly, Bama losing. So yeah, you could have some. You could have that. Like you could. That's the whole point. I think. Like how Miami jumps them is because BYU lost, and Notre Dame jumping Bama could do the same thing because they lost. Like that's. Now listen, the conference championship and the way they view it is one thing, but all right, we got that. The Phoenix hat. Thank you, appreciate you, brother. Heisman. I when it comes to the Heisman, man, like I got to do some soul searching because I got to put my vote in. But the championship weekend always matters for the Heisman. It always matters, man. Playing in the biggest games and coming up big. We had a lot of guys that were in this thing, a lot of guys to talk about, and then slowly it started chipping away. But I'll tell you what, man, it's going to be really hard to ignore the undefeated heavyweight champion of the world, the only undefeated team in the nation, and a guy that consistently came up big in big-time moments every time they needed it. And I will say this, if you took Mr. Mendoza off Indiana, they dang sure ain't undefeated. Like, he's big, he's strong, he's tough, he's athletic, makes the throws. But I think Mendoza, because of what he did tonight against Ohio State, who was the best team in the country, in a big-time stage, in the moment, I think my dude just won a Heisman Trophy. I think he literally just won a Heisman Trophy. How about that? Indiana, the number one team in the country with a Heisman Trophy winner this year. That's just awesome. Congratulations.
All right, so I have a former TV guy question for you.
Okay.
How are they going to reveal this tomorrow? Will it 9 and 10? Will it
100%?
We'll go every one of them show 11, 12, and then who's 9, who's 10?
We're gonna ping pong around until you get to the only argument that is. So you'll show
9 and 10.
You'll know the top, you'll know the bottom, and then
they'll show the teams they'll be watching, kind of like they showed Norvell that one year when Florida State got left out. Like they'll be there, so you'll have cameras at Miami, camera at Bama, camera at Notre Dame. Marty Smith will be at Bama. Maybe who knows? Somebody will be at Miami.
He might be exhausted from following Lane around for so long. he might need a break.
They will milk the I don't know what out of that.
Well, listen, that's why you do the show.
As you should. That's
when you pay all that money for it. That's how it should. That's how it should go. Hey, read our other super chat, Brent.
I missed it.
We got another one. We got. It's the blue one. It's the bright blue one. You can't see it.
No, it's already gone. Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Today's game create two. Yes, 2 group of 5 teams in the field. I think so. Appreciate you.
Yeah. It produced 2 group of 5s in the 12-team playoff in a sport that prides itself on getting the best. And we expanded, and we talk all the time about who the best are, and we want to get the best in. We're going to have 2 group of 5 teams in the college football playoff. In the 12-team college football playoff, you're going to have 2 group of 5 teams. Like, that's not getting the best team any way, shape, or form. Last year, we screwed up how we gave away the buys. We fixed that. Next year, we're going to have to fix that now. Like, that can't happen. There's no way that can happen. And you guys sleep well tonight. And because tomorrow, all you guys that cheered against or cheered for Texas Tech to beat the crud out of BYU and cheered for Georgia to beat the crud out of Alabama, both of them happened. And there's so many teams that are still in this thing that are hoping for it. And we'll join you guys tomorrow, man. Why not, right? We'll jump on it tomorrow, talk about all the rankings, talk about the matchups. It'll be absolutely fascinating. Man, we can't thank y'all enough for joining us all throughout the season. We just keep growing. So keep hitting that like, rate, subscribe. Keep watching us, man. We really, really appreciate it here at C-Ball Get Ball. And no fluff, just football, man. We're not going to – no preconceived notions. We're not trying to pour anything down your throat. We're just going to talk football, and we'll be here tomorrow to do it. So thank y'all so much. Have a great night. Sleep tight.